think that's the ultimate goal for me, is like everyone has that feeling that Cameron had, is that I love it because they've already done it. Like Kathleen's already done this. Tisha already knows this. We don't have to worry about this. We know when to pay people then. We know when to schedule this. We know when to order this. Like nothing's perfect, but from a internal communication tool, Proline really does give each team member that it empowers them, because we all know what's going on. And from the customer's perspective too, they don't get as much incorrect information. They get correct information from us, from our team, and they feel confident in choosing our company because we're all communicating on the same page. We're not as much as possible. We're not asking the wrong questions or giving the wrong information to our homeowners, because we're all on the same page. It's a communication tool. It's a communication platform that has a CRM that's really robust with a lot of really powerful automations. It's people want to be communicated effectively and clearly on this is, like you said, it's a very nerve-wracking process to replace your roof or to repair your roof. You need to communicate clearly every single time.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, you lose the redundant conversations between your team, but you also get rid of the redundant conversations between customers. So one thing I talk about a lot is, as a homeowner, I've had a lot of experiences with renovation companies, all that kind of stuff. We had our windows in our house were the original windows from the 80s. They were leaking, and we had a company come out to replace all the windows. And there was a lot of stuff that I liked about the company. I knew the kind of what I was looking for in the windows. I knew about what the price was that I wanted to pay, and I was able to get that. But there was little things that just kind of sucked about the process, where the person I first talked to on the phone didn't relay all the information to the guy that came out to my house. And then the guy that came out to the house to sell me on the windows, like the person who scheduled the install, like they didn't even know each other. They didn't even know each other's names. So this guy was in my house. He was working with me for a while. We were going through all these different things. And then I think his wife went into labor or something like that. Or maybe he was like, hey, I really actually need to go. Like, but it was like either his wife went into labor while he was at my house, or she was going to be induced the next day. It was something really like that. So then the person calls me to schedule the install, and I was like, hey, did Josh or whatever, like, did everything go okay with his baby getting born? And she was like, oh, who's Josh? And I was like, what are you talking about? That's the guy who's in my house. Like, it just goes so much better when someone calls in, they relay information. I can listen to the call. I can read the notes from Kathleen, who's talking to it. And then when I show up at their house, I say, like, I give them the rundown of my understanding of what's going on and ask if there's anything else they think I need to know. So if you have a stain in your living room, I'm going to show up and say, hey, I'm really sorry you got a stain in your living room. Can I see what that looks like? And maybe you have attic access or something. They're not having to give the report to Kathleen and then come back and give the report to me. And then on the day of the install, give the report to somebody else. And then, have to follow up with someone else to pay that doesn't know anything else or anything like that. Proline has made it where I know what I'm walking into. The customer has somebody that knows what's going on with their house. And from the top to bottom, we all in the company know exactly what's going on if we just like use Proline and get in there and read the notes and communications and all that.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, this is it's good to hear. John and I have put a lot of time and work in to work through these things and make sure that Proline does what you're saying it does. So it's good to hear that it's working the way that we intended. I guess that's a big difference between Proline and these other tools that I just don't believe that enough time was spent on these other tools truly collecting and understanding what actually happens inside of a roofing business. Even some of these the newer ones that are getting developed now, I see them putting out features. It's like, why would you do it that way? Why would you? And I think it's because you have people that are not in the roofing industry, and they're, you know, doing a few interviews with roofing contractors, not truly understanding, and then just pushing stuff out. And I think it's been a bit different with the way that we've built this inside of John's business, truly first and foremost, then expanded it and made it work for other businesses as well. It's just like all these layers of us kind of rounding out, the sanding down the corners and making this work the way it needs to work.